Today we're going to talk about the snapshots of your life. What's happening? NJRoute22.com here with another kind of psychological, philosophical video. It's a little bit off our beaten path, but it's about this, what I like to call the snapshot of your life. Now think about your life for a minute. Step outside of your life for a second. Everything is momentary, and you can put it even more simplistically, as famed Zen philosopher Alan Watts said, there is only always now. Now, regardless of your situation, there is a very good chance that almost everything in your circle right here, right now, will change over time. Sometimes it happens quickly, and sometimes it happens gradually. It doesn't really matter. It will change. Now, when I say snapshot of life, that was the analogy I came up with here. But think of your life, think of today, think of the people surrounding you, and take a Polaroid picture if you know what that means. That's just the concept. That is the snapshot of your life for today. That is what you and your personality, all the things you have, your likes, your dislikes, as well as everything else involved. Your family, your friends, your jobs, your pets, your interests, and whatever else. But that snapshot, you can also call it a fingerprint or a moment in time. It will completely change down the line. Friends come and go as well as family members and jobs and hobbies. You may like one thing one day, you might be one political flavor one day, and 10 years later you might be another. Now compare yourself to a tree, a plant, or even a city street. Do you ever notice how things change over time? Another good analogy here for this presentation is what I like to refer to as wavelengths. You know what wavelengths are. A sound wave, it could be any kind of wavelength, light wavelength. And here's an example. Imagine you become friends with someone and you share similar interests. And most often that friendship starts because of an initial common bond. Let's say, for argument's sake, you're in school together, a shared trait that's instantly connecting you in some fashion. And then, you're in the same school and you see that this person has the same t-shirt on as you, or they're listening to the same music. You like some of the same things. And they might even have similar viewpoints in life. And that's how you become even more connected at that moment. My point is, those wavelengths at that particular in time are sort of in line with each other. That's why you gravitated towards them, and that's why you became friends. You had a connection, for real. You were in tune. However, what most people fail to realize is that even as those wavelengths were in tune for that moment or that period of time, they weren't ever, and they can never be the exact same frequency. At least not for long. The frequencies also can change over time. It's impossible to be perfectly in tune with someone for your entire life. Even identical twins are different. Wavelengths definitely become out of tune over time. Sometimes by a little, but a lot of times they become far enough away that the connection is no longer harmonious. You may not have a lot in common with that friend a few years down the road. You'll drift away, maybe slowly. Sometimes you say, I'm leaving, I'm going to California. See you later, bye. And if you understand that, it's a lot less painful to come to grips with why friendships and relationships dissipate. No harm, no foul, it's just life. And as these wavelengths diverge from each other over the course of a person's life, it's easy to forget them over time as well. Then weird things happen, 10, 20, 30 years down the road. You might somehow remember that person. Something happens that you might be reminded of them. And you wonder what took place in that period of time. You get a flashback or some rekindling of memories and feelings. Most people remember the best of times. They don't remember the worst of times. So you're like, oh, I had a really good time with that person, forgetting that you probably had a falling out or some other kind of disagreement. And a lot of people want to reconnect with these people from the past. Sometimes it works, but most often it does not. Now, while it's fun to stroll down memory lane, one fact remains true. You're not on the same wavelength anymore. Even as individuals, wavelengths do cycle and change. They might even become in tune for a brief period of time, but they still will rarely stay aligned. How many reconstituted friendships in your life became permanent? Not many, I bet. Well, it's time to embrace the now and what you have. The most important point I'm trying to make here is that looking in the past and fantasizing about the unknown is healthy. However, it pales in comparison to what is much more important, the right now. The now is the most crucial aspect of your life. If the now is so bad that it has you looking backwards or forwards, perhaps your now needs to be fixed. If you're in a bad relationship and recalling great memories of days past, maybe you need to fix the relationship now. Try hard to make it new and not just a rehash of faded past memories. If you hate everything in your current snapshot of life, then try to make positive changes to mend your woes. Ask yourself why. Take one step at a time. But it's safe to say that even if things hit rock bottom, situations improve most of the time. Some people get the short end of the stick and end up dying young or having miserable permanent injuries and so on. If you have bad luck, for instance. But not 100% of everything gets better, but 99% of it does. In general, most bad things turn around, and that's why it's helpful to improve the snapshot of your life. If you imagine yourself in the photo, you have the ability to literally reframe that photo the next day or the day after. Or maybe you just want to be in a different photo. You can do that, And as long as you strive to have both stability as well as the willingness to change and go with the flow of life, you should be fine. That's it for today. See you next time.